10 smiley faces. Well done, Aya. That's brilliant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars already. I think we might get a record of 10 today.
With today's strong focus on inclusion and bearing in mind the huge difference in teacher-to-pupil ratio, can special school strategies for teaching pupils with emotional and behavioural difficulties be transferred to mainstream schools? Penny Nice, the Senko for Mainstream Primary St Leonard's near Hastings, has come to special school Gibbs Green in West London to find out. Her day begins with an observation of the pupil referral unit class, taught by Joe Porter.
Ashley shows our target. Can you read through your targets, please?
Except not always to being first or second.
And I remember on Monday when you were here, 3 or 4 times you said, OK, Joe, I'm going to go 3rd in the line, I'm going to go 4th in line, didn't you? How was it when you went back to mainstream?
It was alright, because I sometimes got in front, got there first, and sometimes never, and I didn't get angry or anything.
You didn't get angry? Well done, so you were controlling your emotions as well. Excellent. It was Wednesday yesterday. What would you say for the morning? What face would you give yourself? I'm asking you to decide.
Using targets is an integral part of the way we work here at Gibbs Green. We'll have targets which the child will be given. We will refer to that target at the end of each session and review it and discuss what we need to do if we've not met it. The children respond really well to this, and it's very visual.
Okay, I really like some of the things he was doing there at the beginning of the lesson. He was going over yesterday and how yesterday had been for the children and getting them to reflect upon that.
So smiley face for the morning decider.
Obviously the children were then giving themselves smiley faces and having to evaluate. And I think from what he was saying that they come quite a long way in their process of not just saying I did really well yesterday, but they were actually being a bit more honest in their reflections. And then he was just in that process he was reminding you of their targets and just reinforcing it. It was great.
Nearly achieved target.
Okay, good boy, that's very honest. So you're saying nearly achieved the target, so not quite a smile, but not unhappy.
Well, obviously, a class teacher in a mainstream school would not be able to go through each child's individual targets in that same way, but it could be that certain children within the class could have, with perhaps a teaching assistant or even with the teacher maybe before the lesson starts, just a quick reflection on how they did yesterday and to reinforce and remind them of their targets for that day.
At Gibbs Green Primary Learning Achievement Centre, or PLAC, Penny observes the class learning massage skills. Expert Isabella Natali leads the session and demonstrates on learning mentor Richard Boff.
Making space for lots of things to come into the head. Is the pressure okay, Richard?
Yeah.
And finish with a nice little squeeze on the shoulders. Lovely.
It's a very new kind of idea. So as a teacher, I was kind of, oh, what is the value of this? But it's amazing for these kids because they really learn to bond in a really positive way. And the care and concern that they show for each other in that time every week has made that time of the week my favourite time. And it really teaches them to respect each other's bodies as well.
If you think it's too hard, you could ask Ayub to do it much softer. That's okay?
That's too hard.
So speak assertively. So ask him really assertively, can you do that softer, please? I know that Ayub will listen, because Ayub wants to give you a really nice massage. That's beautiful. A lot of students are really tactile and they want to touch and they want that affection, but boys in particular don't know how to do it appropriately.
They were being very gentle and very respectful, weren't they, of each other's feelings, and you were using lots of sort of good words like ask positively, ask assertively. For us in a mainstream school, I can really see the benefits. I could use it in my nurture groups. On a sort of smaller group level where I could see that working quite well. And maybe class teachers might be interested in incorporating it into their sort of daily routine, you know, as a sort of session where they might want to calm children down a bit after a lively lunchtime or playtime.
I'm really, really impressed, boys, with that massage. And I'm thinking in my head of the smiley faces. Before we do that, we need to set the classroom up. And I'm looking for our learning target this week, which is who can work cooperatively.
In a relaxed state, the PLAT class moves on to a literacy lesson.
What is that? That's a hand. So her and.
Kyle, what have you got to do on this sheet?
Well, what you've got to do is you've got to guess what it is and then circle what it is.
And what's that word you're writing now?
Display.
Right, the key thing that I really noticed there was that the children were confident, they were straight away on their task, they knew what they had to do and they were able to do it.
Students just get so frustrated because they cannot read a worksheet that it's a lot easier to push the worksheet away, throw a chair, be kicked out of class and have a reputation for being bad than being dumb. Nathan, I'd like to see you working, please. So what do you do when you've done your work? Yeah.
I think, you know, it's really for teachers to feel quite happy, mainstream teachers to feel happy, that the work they give children like that may be, you know, very attainable for them. It may be slightly below their level, but you've got to then build on that success, really, in being able to do something they can do straight away. You're gradually feeding in, perhaps, bits of work that then become slightly more difficult.